Yo, what is going down, y'all? Welcome in, man. The most underrated podcast broadcasting from Certified Tattoo Studios as we do every single week. And we're playing this song. I'm playing this song for you, man. You're out of touch. Your picks against the spread this weekend are about to go down. No, I'm just playing. I'm actually playing this for JJ, the most silent man in podcast history. Dal Palantonio sitting across from me. JJ did not know what point spreads were, and maybe some of you guys don't know what point spreads are either. So you can, if you're driving in your car, you're brushing your teeth right now, you could raise your hand. It's okay. I'm not going to call you out. A point spread. Listen, we're going to talk point spreads later on in the show, but I just thought this is, natural. I thought this is something everybody knows about. Me being Italian, having the mafia fucking ties as a young age. I had a bookie when I was 5. I mean, I was betting on spreads on NBA Christmas games at 5. I showed up. Nice. My uncle's giving me spreads. Who do you want? You want the Bulls, you want the Lakers. What are you doing here? Showtime, you want Showtime Magic, you want Jordan. You know what I mean? As a young kid growing up, point spreads were everything. So we're going to get into point spreads and our picks against the spread. If you listen to the last podcast, we're going to be giving out every Friday. We'll be dropping 3 different games that we both really like. Some weeks they may be the same, they may be completely different, but we're going to give you 3 picks from each of us against the spread, and then we're going to total those up at the end of the year. And we got a $20 bet on the line. Ain't that right, Dal?
We are already ready, man. What is that? We got the Bears making the playoffs or not?
Oh, that was the second bet. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's the fire bet there.
So we got 2 $20 bets going down. Let's jump in, man. We got so many topics to cover. I know I watched Hard Knocks the other night. Did you watch Hard Knocks?
I did not, man. I was I had emphasis on other things, but we'll get into that. What'd you think about Hard Knocks, man?
It was cool. It was the last episode, man. Last show. It was cool. I mean, spoiler alert, the guys that they followed, Devin Kajus.
Yeah.
Carl Nassib, the D-end.
Which we saw what happened
Antonio
with him.
Callaway with the weed.
Yeah.
Callaway's the only one that made the team. Kajus got cut. Nassib got cut. Who's the black dude with the 4 kids? Linebacker Nate Orchard.
Nate Orchard. There you go. Yeah.
He played for the Browns for 4 years and actually ended up getting cut as well. So Orchard was out of there. Pretty much all the guys they profiled on the show throughout this season all got cut, and Carl's the only one that he made it past the initial cuts, but kind of like a Paxton Lynch, he got cut like the next day because they wanted to go pick up someone else. But then he got signed immediately. He had a great camp. I was super shocked that they parted ways with that guy. Yeah. They must be deep at the DM position in Cleveland because I thought Nassib had a great camp, a great preseason, but he was cut and he was signed like 2 days later, I think, by the 49ers. Yep. So he was able to get picked up there. Why didn't you watch, fool? We gave you homework.
Man, I know. Sorry I'm letting everybody down here. I tell you what, I've been working a lot this week, but more importantly, I have been so into the U.S. Open, man, this week.
Oh, dude, I get it. You can only watch so much stuff. You're only one man.
We have seen some upsets. You know me, man. Went to state tennis all 4 years.
Yep.
Dude, I am so ingrained in this, and it's in the best city in the world, man, New York City. I just love this event, man. They do it so well, and of course, there's been some great upsets. We did see the Williams sisters, and I'll tell you, man, that wasn't very entertaining.
It was the worst.
I was let down.
I checked out of the U.S. Open after that. Remember, I was so pumped over the Williams sisters match.
You said you were going to DVR it.
Went home, super pumped to watch it, and Venus didn't even show up. I mean, she shit the bed first class. I get it. She's older. Serena just beat that ass. No question about it. So that was when I kind of checked out of the U.S. Open. I haven't really been that enthralled with the rest of it. You've been telling me that there's been some incredible matches going on. I'm missing out. But just like you, I'm only one man. I can only consume so much with all the other stuff that I have going on in my life.
That's exactly right. So, I'll just give you a couple of recaps of kind of what I really enjoyed. So, biggest upset of the tournament was, I should say, that was on Monday night. It was Mr. Roger Federer, the favorite going into it aside from Nadal and Djokovic, right? He was actually beat by an unseeded individual, Mr. Millman, and I believe him to be Australian. So that was a huge upset. So a non-seeded individual beating one of the top seeds in the tournament.
Okay.
So that was huge. That only went 4 sets, so it didn't go to a 5-set, anything like that. But the game of the tournament, the match of the tournament, was Rafael Nadal versus Dominic Thiem, okay? And so it's a 1 seed against a 9 seed. This thing went all 5 sets and then into a 5-set tiebreak.
Wow.
The amount of time on this, I think, set a U.S. Open record, but it was 4 hours and 49 minutes.
Woo.
So we're talking 2:04. I think East Coast time is when that got done.
Did you stay up for the whole match?
Incredible.
Wow,
Incredible.
Maybe you need these shades, bro. You're the one looking tired. If you're not watching the YouTube, I'm actually wearing a new pair of Ray-Bans, light color lenses, because I'm tired as hell today, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that Miami Vice vibe on a Thursday.
Looking tight, looking right.
Yeah, man. So I definitely wouldn't have stayed up for that. Yeah. I don't know how you did. Were you just smoked at work the next day? Or what?
A litlittle smoked at work for sure. Yeah, I've been putting 9-10 hours in every day at work, so
Shit.
I was a little smoked, man, but it was worth it, man.
I can't believe it. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be staying up for that. I guess you're so into tennis, though. We're opposite in that way.
Right.
I watch just as a normal casual fan, you know what I mean? Kind of like I do with golf. You're a lot more into golf. You're a lot more into tennis than I am. Let's move out of that a little bit. Are you cool on the U.S. Open?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to give a little update. I don't know how much our people really enjoy, tennis.
Let's be honest,
and
nobody
whatnot.
probably gives a fuck. I'm just playing.
So yeah, I just had to be pumped on that. But man, it's been a great week so far.
Thursday night football. I don't want to cover this too much. We can talk about it a little bit, but by the time you guys listen to this podcast, the game will have already been played. But it's going down tonight. Eagles, Falcons. As I just said, you guys already know the result. But the spread on this one has moved from the Eagles being favored by 2.5 down to 1.
-1.
So I would have loved to take the Falcons at 2.5.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was actually one of the plays I was looking at for my picks this week.
Yeah.
But at 1, I don't know. Eagles coming out at home. I could still see the Falcons pulling the upset. Yeah. They should have won that game in the divisional championship in the NFC last year. They should have won. They went into Philly, played them very, very tough. Philly just had the breaks go their way at the end of the game. But tonight, I could easily see, I think the Falcons have improved. Falcons have gotten better. I don't think the Eagles have gotten better necessarily.
Right.
I don't think they've gotten a ton worse, but they're still going to rely on their defense. It's still going to be defense heavy. I think Nick Foles has looked like dog shit throughout the preseason. That's what scares me.
I'm worried about some of his shoulder. His shoulder problems. It almost looked like Federer the other night. It seems like Foles just can't find that extra gear that we're kind of used to or that we're kind of needing right now or the Eagles are needing. So I'm a little concerned with Foles and just kind of the momentum that he has not been bringing from preseason.
But throughout his career, he's been like a big game guy. I mean, he's not a guy that looks great in practice. It looks great in preseason games. But when the lights are on, when it's time to shine, he comes out and he plays well. Yeah. I'm not saying he has an MVP performance every time.
He does enough to get it done.
Right.
It seems like.
And so are we going to see the Nick Foles that we saw in preseason, scattered, running around, not protected well by the offensive line? Or are we going to see Big Dick Nick, the dude that got him past the Patriots in the Super Bowl? That's what the Eagles
got him the W.
That's going to be the chant coming out on the field tonight. I know it.
What, Big Dick Nick?
Of course. That's what they call him over there in Philly, man. It's a toss-up for me. It's not a game that I want to pick against the spread or going either way, Eagles or Falcons. But I think it's one of those ones that can go either way. I do think the Eagles have kind of stayed the same, but I think the Falcons have gotten better. So if I was forced to choose, I'm going to go with the Falcons on the road. In an upset, I think they win tonight, spoiling the Super Bowl homecoming, the raising of the banner, all that stuff that's going to go down tonight.
I think I'm kind of with you, but I would probably take the Eagles at home, man. First game of the season, coming off the big Super Bowl.
Are you doing that just to go against me, or you really believe that?
You know what, man? I do. I believe the Eagles are going to take it. First game at home, that crowd is going to be unstoppable tonight. And even with the chance of the Big Dick Nick, let's go. They're at home. First game of the season. They're going to be pumped. Defense is going to take the game tonight.
I might be biased. I got Matty Ice in a couple leagues, so I know nobody cares about my fantasy team. But
what does JJ think over there? Most silent man.
Silence.
Silence is golden. All right. I'm good with the game, man.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to watch it tonight. I'm excited that football's back.
Yeah.
Like I said, the game already been played, so we won't spend too much time on that one. Let's jump in and put a capper kind of on the MGK Eminem situation, maybe G-Eazy situation that we had talked about in the previous podcast. There was a lot of people in the comments talking about they didn't agree with me. They didn't think MGK did very well. And I also, I hate Facebook. I never get on Facebook. Yeah. I haven't posted something on Facebook other than a link to a vlog or a podcast in I don't know how long.
You got to like Facebook if you're 40 plus years old.
Right.
That's what it's
if
for.
If you're old and you have a lot of political views that no one wants to listen to,
yeah.
you can post them on Facebook for your seven
You want to see
friends.
you want to see your 18 friends, kids, and what they're doing and where they're going at first day of school, kindergarten pics.
Right.
That's your place.
That's what Facebook's become.
Yeah.
So I posted on there. I think I tweeted it out as well, but I felt like it was pertinent, and I just said I was impressed by MGK. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
I'm eagerly awaiting M's response.
I think he worked hard on that. Yeah.
And then I got shit on by a bunch of people on there. I had people in the comments here saying MGK sucks. He has no bars. He didn't know, they don't know what I was talking about. Frankly, I don't understand. I don't understand what you guys listen to. I could understand if you're talking about the G-Eazy diss. Not that great, especially once you compare it to what M said on his album on Kamikaze, and then you compare it to the MGK diss. G-Eazy looks like an afterthought.
Nah.
Terrible compared to those two.
G-Eazy's not even in the game.
Right. Not even close.
No.
The reason, here's my opinion. The reason I loved what MGK did was he basically, that was the blueprint, in my opinion, for a diss record. He named him multiple times. You knew exactly who he was going at. It wasn't subs. It wasn't subliminal. He said his name multiple times. You knew what he was talking about. He brought up old shit. He brought up the reason they were beefing, the shit he said in 2012. He said it took Eminem 6 years to respond. I really liked that. I like how he tied that together. And then third, he went after him with some stuff, some dirt. He dug up dirt. He had dirt on Eminem that we had not heard. Yeah. And in any beef, that's part of the equation. That's something that is heavy hitting, gut punching, because it's stuff that us as listeners have not heard before.
Yeah, we didn't know anything about that.
Exactly. Talking about Eminem having him,
the
he's the reason he can't go up at Shade 45.
Yeah.
He's the one that said he called Puff
and
complained about him saying his daughter was hot in the tweet from 2012, and he demanded an apology. MGK is like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is the motherfucker that offended everybody in the game, from NSYNC to Britney Spears, the Backstreet Boys, Carson Daly, Fred Durst. He rattled them off the list. Pick a name, if you will, as Eminem said on Kamikaze. And now he's getting offended by MGK saying his daughter was hot. Like, totally. Did he say I want to fuck the shit out of her? No. He said she's hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of with MGK on that shit, man. It kind of makes M look like a bitch.
Well, and you know what MGK.
Wow.
Here's the deal.
Wow.
we just can't do this today, man.
We gotta cut it off.
We're getting nowhere today.
That was worse than Boodio. We're
down in the Boodio.
Anyway, MGK.
Yeah. So what I loved about it was on his chorus, he even throws in the auto tune to just put a little bit of little sting on
M was
Eminem.
Kind of burning on that the past couple albums.
He fucking hates it, right? Yep. So he even throws a little bit of sting on that auto tune, which I was able to pick that up too, and I thought that was interesting.
I just don't understand how. I don't know. Maybe. I guess we all have our own opinions, but I don't understand how people can't at least give that respect. Even if you're just the biggest fucking stan and you're the biggest M fan there is, which I am. You know me, dude. I quote lyrics all day, every day.
I don't know biggest one. Yeah.
I got M stored up in the Rolodex nonstop.
Truth.
Maybe not the past 10 years, M, but I have M stored up.
Yeah.
I know M. I'm a huge M fan. I can admit that he got. I can admit that MGK did a great job. Now, when I say that he got, I don't mean that in a sense like it's over. M lost. He's dead. MGK killed him. Because obviously we haven't heard his response. We got to wait for him to come back. But in a battle rap aspect, you cannot say he didn't lay down the perfect blueprint. He didn't play a perfect game.
Right.
If he never fucking raps something else that's super sick again, he got it right on this. He did. It was one of those stars aligning. He wrote the perfect shit. The video was fire. Mm-hmm. It was in a super timely manner. I mean, M dropped the album basically Friday. MGK's disc came on Monday. So he wrote the whole thing, memorized it, rapped it, shot the video, had it edited together by Monday. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Especially when it looks like in the video he's out on tour. So he kind of did it out back on his tour bus in a parking lot kind of. Mm-hmm. But I thought all the shots he threw at M were super legit. Overall, I just thought the whole thing he did a great job with it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm burying M or M is terrible or anything like that. I'm just giving props where props are due. Yeah. I'm a very logical guy. I don't really react with emotion a lot of times. You know that. You're a little bit more emotion than I am. I'm more fucking logic and very direct. That's how I feel. Just looking at it logically, he did a great job. There was a couple things that there was a couple other responses that we talked about. We heard a Joe Budden response. We heard a Bizarre response. Tell me about those.
So yeah, with Joe Budden, I mean, we can play the clip or we don't have to, but Joe Budden gets on his podcast. He has his own podcast. And, he finally came out and said something. And most people were like, wow, man, is this going to bring Joe Budden out of retirement? Is this the time? So he came out on his podcast and said, look, man, you ain't been relevant in the last 10 years, dog.
Yeah.
Is saying this directly to him. And then he's like, all you do is just rhyme a bunch of words.
Let's play the clip.
You wanna play that?
Let's play the clip from Joe Budden, and then we'll react to that.
Newsflash M. I heard the album. And because I think you don't really know all the members that were in the group, I don't really think you know our history. Let me tell you what Joe Budden has thought this entire time. I've been better than you this entire fucking decade. Huh? Can't say that back then. Can't say that back then. But in my rapper brain, I'm a content nigga. You gotta say something. You have not said anything for the better part of a whole fucking decade.
That's true.
You have rhymed a bunch of words. Hey, there was a moment in time where a jawline,
Everlast,
it stung you a little bit. And Everlast had the smoke for him. I know you don't know about me. You better go check my fucking Carfax, nigga. You better go ask some niggas that's close to you. I live for this type of shit. And all of that rapidy rap, lyrical miracle bullshit, any nigga who want it like that think they want it with me, I don't think you would fare well. I also think it's really corny when retired niggas pop shit about what they woulda, coulda, woulda done. So, I feel like I'm in control of the rules here, M. I'm backed now. You're not so much.
Whoa. Okay, so what does he mean by that last statement? I'm backed now. He said backed, right?
Yeah, he didn't say
I'm
I'm back. He said I'm backed. So I have
backed
no
by
idea.
who?
What
By
does that mean?
What is he talking about?
Who's supporting him?
Right. I don't know. Is he mean he's backed because somebody kind of got at him, or a couple people are actually trying to get at him? Yeah. Here's what I do like and what I don't like. Mm-hmm. Number one, I don't like the fact that he's waited till somebody kind of got at him, and now all of a sudden he wants to throw his hat in the ring and he wants a piece. You didn't want a piece on off the last album. You kind of talked some shit about Revival, but you didn't say anything then. You weren't fucking trying to battle him then.
Right.
You weren't writing a bunch of bars like you did for Drake, trying to get Drake to fucking respond to you. He never did. That's the stuff I don't like about it. What I do like about it, it's pretty factual. I mean, M really hasn't come with the smoke in the past decade. Mm-hmm. The past decade of M, let's see. Let's look down. Let's run down his discography here. You got 2009. Let's start, because the Encore came out in 2004. That was probably his last decent project before Marshall Mathers LP2. So you got Relapse, Trash, Recovery, Trash. That was 2010. Marshall Mathers LP2, 2013. I would say that was probably his best project in the last decade before Kamikaze. Okay. Then you had Revival, Trash, and then you had Kamikaze, which was dope. So I think he had maybe two dope projects in there, Marshall Mathers LP2, Kamikaze. And I think they're just dope because of the, I like, especially on the MMLP2, I love the rock samples he uses. I love how he goes rock and roll on that album. Yeah. I really liked what he did with that album. That's where Rap God came from, all that stuff. But I agree with Joe. I don't think he's really had a ton of dope shit, and he hasn't really said anything in the past decade. Because let's face the facts. The reason we fell in love with Eminem was because of the craziness, the wild, the Slim Shady, all the outlandish kind of stuff we've never heard before. He'll say anything on a record, say it in a crazy way, the storytelling aspect, all the stuff that made us love M for those first 3-4 albums. He doesn't live that life anymore. No, he's not that guy.
He's evolved.
So what do you expect him to say?
Yeah, whether you call it right or wrong, he's evolved. He's had to evolve. All artists do, and we don't see that same M.
So I agree with Joe Budden in that aspect, but I kind of give him a pass because, like, what the fucking dude's old. Yeah. He has a daughter that's grown. He's not on drugs anymore. Like, some of the shit Machine Gun Kelly said, again, valid. The shit got him. You know what I mean? It just got him. Like, It is what it is, man.
At the end of the day, it's good for hip hop.
Do you agree with Joe Budden? Where do you stand on this?
Yeah, with Joe Budden, I think yeah, he's coming in a little late, but I think just like some of the stuff we're going to talk about later here in the podcast, it's inspirational, and maybe this has inspired Joe Budden to finally come out. Joe Budden hasn't done shit for a while, you know that.
That's why I can't say That's why I didn't. I wasn't going to give him all the way the credit and say he's been tighter than him the past decade, because I don't fuck with Joe Budden's discography like that.
And I don't
tell
either.
you what the hell he's done the past decade.
And see, that alone right there tells you that he hasn't done much. But I'm not a big Joe Budden fan either, but I'll tell you, at least the last 5 years, he ain't done shit.
He's been more media.
So, for him to come out of retirement, if this inspires him, I'm good with it. I'm hoping that MGK obviously inspired him, with this, and we'll see what M has to say. But, the clock's ticking, you know what I mean, with any of this. So if they're not moving today, tomorrow, the next couple of days, this stuff is just going to pass over. Yep. So that's my concern, but it is inspirational, and I hope Joe Budden does come with something.
What about the Bizarre shit? He says Bizarre had some stuff for him.
Yeah, Bizarre from D12 actually on the gram came to give actually MGK some props, believe it or not. He says, hey man, we'll play the clip if we need to, but just give you a little.
We could play it.
Yeah, give you a little piece of it. He just says, hey man, I think you probably worked hard. I think you worked all night. You did a decent job, but then he goes into kind of, saying M's coming for you, So we'll play that clip real quick.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yo, everybody keep hitting me up, asking me have I heard the Machine Gun Kelly diss. Yes, I heard it. I think it was good. I think this is the best I ever heard Mr. Kelly rap in his life. I think he stayed up all night, wrote the best possible bars he possibly could. And I think it's good for hip hop. But boy, the repercussions. Whew. The boy gonna do you something nasty. Y'all better stop playing with that boy.
If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you got to see the video clip of Bizarre on his Instagram. If not, just go find Bizarre. I don't even know what's his screen name on the IG. But basically, his facial expressions really make the whole shit.
Yeah, for sure.
What is his name there?
Bizarre World.
Bizarre World. So you can go check that out on his IG page if you want to see it. It's pretty damn funny.
It's funny, yeah.
There at the end, just making those faces the way he does with his fat face. It's just hilarious to me. What'd you think of, give me some reaction to Bizarre.
Oh, I like Bizarre, man. I love me some old D12 and what they did. And, they've had an up and down relationship.
I didn't really know that until I heard Kamikaze. He kind of talks about that on Kamikaze.
D12 and Eminem, yeah. So they definitely had some up and downs. But to have Bizarre, one of the main members, one of the iconic members that we all recognize, whether he's large, he's not, from D12 to come and kind of have M's back, makes you feel good. It's that feel good stuff,
I think he's just being honest in what he really feels. I don't think it doesn't sound to me like he's contrived. Doesn't sound like to me like he's up on M's dick. I think he just is being real. He gave MGK, just like I am. He gave MGK props. He said he did a great fucking job. Totally. He wrote the best shit of his life. Yeah. And now he's waiting for M's response. Same way I am. And let me tell you this, but to put a capper on this whole situation, if Eminem comes back with the rapidy rap and the tactical no one gives a fuck. If they can't understand what you're saying, if you don't come with some fucking bars that are understandable, that aren't fucking dictionary rhyming fucking unplugged toaster with Young Thug poster, dog, I get it. It's tight, but your shit's gonna fall flat.
You have to have the
Everyone
content.
knows. That's the whole point of what MGK said. Everyone knows you're the fucking greatest. You're the greatest rapper. Everyone knows you can rap in any type of flow, any type of style. You can do all that shit. Everyone fucking knows that. You're in everybody's top 10, as MGK said. But you need to come with the fucking smoke. You need to come with the bars. You need to come with the shit that you came with for Ja Rule. I'm fucking go to sleep, bitch. Die, motherfucker. You need to come with that, M. You need to come with the fucking the shit he did for Benzino. I don't wanna be like this. I don't really wanna hurt no feelings. I'm only being real when I say nobody wants to hear their grandfather rap. Nope. Just fucking he needs to come with that shit. And if you have not heard that shit, go look it up because you motherfuckers are missing out. That is classic battle rap M right there. That is diss track M, and that's the M we need to see in this response. And it needs to be timely. He better hurry the fuck up, by the way.
I know.
Marshall better pull it together. Maybe I know he's a big football fan, and he's probably getting prepared for opening NFL weekend as well, but he better get that shit together, and he better not just throw out a fucking little song. He better come with a video. That fool better come with the shit, dog.
Yeah.
Because if not, I know there's a ton of people. This is a lot of the shit I'm seeing. Why does he even need to respond? He doesn't need to respond. He's not gonna respond. He's just gonna. Let me tell you why the fuck he needs to respond, because he fucking talks shit first. Mm-hmm. Somebody came at him with heat. Somebody came back at him with good shit, and now he needs to respond.
It's your rap responsibility.
Shit,
if you're the GOAT, it is your fucking rap responsibility to come after this. And it better not be no BET Cypher shit.
Right.
That was dog shit. That's all I got to say.
A lot of people feel that way.
That's all I got to say.
I don't really have a feeling either way, but a lot of people do feel that way.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. It was a lot of that rapidy stuff. Sure, he had some Trump in there. He had
got
some
political.
Yeah, he got a
lot of people
political,
weren't a fan of.
Yeah, I'm not. What are you gonna do? But it just better not be that BET Cypher shit, man. Let's see what he's got.
Speaking political, man, I think we're good on that. I think we're tight on that. Let's jump into the Colin Kaepernick Nike commercial. Let's just let's go in there. We're gonna go sneakers, but let's stick on that because this is kind of political. I hate getting political. I do not get political in my fucking personal life with my friends. I don't want to get political on this podcast, but this is a situation where obviously we fuck with brands. A bunch of different brands. We're obviously sneakerheads. We're in the game, but also the NFL, man. We fuck with sports heavy on this podcast. This is a huge topic. It's been a huge topic. It's not going anywhere with the ruling was that last week maybe?
Yeah.
That they're going to move forward. Yeah. The NFL or the court case is going to be pushed forward. Sorry, the verbiage slipped my mind there, but they're going to move forward with the Colin Kaepernick court case against the NFL, the collusion case. That's what I was looking for.
Gotcha.
So if you don't know, Colin Kaepernick has a case going on against the NFL that the owners colluded against him to keep him out of the NFL.
Yep.
So that is what's being pushed forward in the court of law. This is only going to throw gasoline on that fire. This is only another fucking stepping stone to keep him in the limelight. And what did you think of the commercial overall? And what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, man, I got so many thoughts. Let's start off with the commercial. The commercial was great. The commercial was very super inspiring. You had major athletes like LeBron in there. You had Serena in there. You had Nyjah Houston that started off as the pro skater. Just all inspiring. And the message that I got was like, hey, don't dream to be great. Just be great. Just do it now. Don't dream of wearing OBJ's uniform, or jersey. Dream of OBJ wearing your uniform.
Right.
So super inspiring, man. I loved it. We don't have to play the clip, but I was very inspired by it.
Goes perfect with their branding too.
It really does.
You said just do it 3 times that thing. I don't even think you meant to do it. That's just how well it flows with their branding. It just
flows. It did very, very well. The athletes, just the inspirational message. I thought it was top notch.
I thought the past 2 ads with the Nike is just, we talked about this on the last podcast or maybe a couple ago. They're fucking crushing it right now. Yeah. They're crushing the ads. They're crushing the collabs with their gear, with their shoes. They're big upping these collabs. They're making releases feel special. They're doing shit that, like we said, Adidas really needs to take some notice because they did a quick fix and leapfrogged over kind of Nike as far as the hype train, but that has died. We're a long way from the Yeezy hype train and the Ultra Boost hype train and NMD. What it was, that is I don't want to say falling off a cliff, but it has died down quite a bit.
Absolutely.
And Nike is coming. They're making it. They're not coming. They're there. Yeah. They are the top. They never lost the top spot.
Right. I would say, Jordan Brand did lose a spot. Obviously we talked, we can talk through that. But this is the year of Nike. Man. Nike has just got their hands on a lot of stuff. And you talk about their marketing department, their PR department. They are all over the place. I think they've done an incredible job.
You think this is where they were going? Or was what are their recent moves a response to what Adidas did and how Adidas came out?
I think so. I think Nike's been
so what? You think it's a response, or you think they would have done this before?
Yeah, totally.
They had this in the can, but without.
I think there's a little bit of response. I think there's some competition here. There's no doubt. Just like we were talking about the rap battles. That's Adidas made Nike better by what they did.
I would love to have been a fly on the wall on those meetings. Like, we got to fucking step it up.
Yeah.
Or was it like, we got all this shit coming. We got all these designers we're collabing with. We got stuff in the works.
Yeah.
I wonder which it was. And
I don't know.
guess
I
we
feel
may never
like
know.
Adidas, with all these collabs, they did a great job the last few years. Reaching out to all these companies, and Nike's always done collabs. But I think Nike actually took some lessons from Adidas. And this Off-White, I mean, everybody is just on Virgil's dick.
Yep.
Like, this Off-White stuff is crazy. You're even going to see, some of these high-end fashion brands team up with Kith in the future here that's been announced we can get into. But, I think they took some lessons, but I think Nike always had the foot on the gas pedal as well. So that's kind of where I would leave that.
The Kaepernick situation, what are your feelings as far as... very quickly, again, I hate to be political or anything like that. What are your feelings on him not being in the NFL, the collusion case, the kneeling of the anthem, Nike partnering with him? Give me your thoughts on all that.
God, I have a lot of thoughts on these and have some facts to back it. So let's start with is he being blackballed from the league? Let's just start there. So, there might be a little bit of that. I know he was voted most hated person in the NFL as a player. I guess that was 2016.
I didn't know, but by the fans or by?
No, I think by the actual league. I didn't even know they did any voting like that. But let me find that here real quick.
Most hated player in the NFL.
Yeah, I think
While you're looking that up, I'll give you my thoughts.
2016. Yeah.
Basically, how it comes down for me. How I look at things, again, just logical. If it doesn't concern me, I don't give a fuck. I'm not, I have way too many things going on to try to care about what everyone else is doing. If the man wants to kneel for the national anthem, kneel for the national anthem. Do whatever you want, man. This is America. You're exercising your freedom of speech, your right to protest. And anyone that thinks otherwise, that you have to stand for the national anthem and this is wrong and this is not patriotic and he hates America and he hates the flag or anything like that, that's meaning you're putting on something. He's not putting meaning on that. He didn't say this is why, because of those reasons, that's why I'm not standing for the national anthem. You are putting that meaning on that. He is protesting something entirely different. If you can relate, great. If you can't relate, great. Just fucking move along. I don't necessarily relate. I'm not a man of color. I don't understand. I will probably never understand. Does it mean I can't have an opinion on it? No, I can have an opinion, but I'm not going to stop another man from doing what he wants to do. Would I stand for the national anthem? Yeah, because that's the way I feel. But do I think everyone needs to feel the way I feel? No. You could do whatever you want, man. This is America. You can do whatever you want to do. You can exercise your freedom of speech. You can exercise your right to protest. You can do whatever you'd like. For me personally, that's where I leave it. I'm not offended by it. I don't put any stock in it. People can do whatever they want to do. And he feels like he is doing it for a cause. He's donated a ton of money. He's done a ton of charitable work. Brandon Marshall for the Denver Broncos is a guy that's been well publicized, not standing for the anthem as well. Same thing, done a ton of charitable work, done a ton of good things in the community. And I think if you're going to do this kind of protest, that's what it should be followed with. It should be followed with some action. Yeah. Take some action. Show that you are taking action. Show that you are really here for the cause and you're not just ruffling feathers. So I think he's done a great job of that. But I'm not, you know me, I'm not a political guy. I don't talk politics with my friends. I don't get political with my friends. I don't really get into that shit at all, because at the end of the day, that's not why we're friends. And if someone wants to continually talk politics with me, chances are we're probably not fucking friends, because I don't want to do that all day, every day. That's not why I live life. That's not why I like you as a person or you as a friend, because of your religious beliefs or your politics or anything like that. All that fucking shit, stay out of it. You do what you do on Sundays. I do what I do on Sundays. We're still homies on Monday.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's it. That's it. That doesn't need to be any deeper than that.
Sure.
And if anyone else has a different opinion, great. You're entitled to your fucking opinion.
You bet. All right, so here's what I would say. So controversial San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick has been voted the NFL's most disliked player. So this was just by Americans who watch football. Kaepernick, who has refused to stand for the United States national anthem during the season, was a clear winner in a recent poll conducted by ePoll Marketing Research. And that was reported
so this wasn't put out by the NFL.
No.
And it was polling the fans, not the league. I was going to say, there's no fucking way the players voted that man most hated. And who the hell took this poll? What is Roger Goodell doing? Okay, so it makes more sense.
So
now.
that was that. But now let me shed a little bit of light on two things that I find interesting. Again, I agree with you that everybody should have their opinions. Do what you want to do on that day and let people do what they need to do. But let me give you some interesting tidbits that I found. So number one, let's talk about this Kaepernick situation and how he's getting paid buku bucks with Nike, that kind of thing. So I love Nike. I can stand with Nike. But if you look at this, most factory workers working for Nike are 80% female, number one. So do we have, gender mishaps with that? Do we have sexism with that? And they are making an average 20 to 30 cents an hour and working 70 to 80 hours a week. So Nike can profit and pay Colin Kaepernick these, for the stories and whatnot. So there's a lot of different tidbits from here that make me think, oh my God, is Nike right? Is Nike wrong? What are we doing here? Because there's a lot to this big thing. The second thing I wanted to share was...
That's an interesting direction.
Yeah. So the other thing I would say is, let's look at the involvement that the military actually has with the NFL.
It's paid patriotism.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I'm reading all of this, there's millions of dollars that the military is paying for the NFL to do these flyovers by the Blue Angels, right? To actually have the military people that are at the game, they're paying for these military guys to go have the seats and bring their families and all this.
The fly-ins.
Yeah, and they're also
parachuting in.
Yeah, the military is also paying the NFL for these shots as they're waving the flag in the middle of the field and showing the military people there. The military is paying a lot of money, and guess what? It's a lot of taxpayers' money too. Don't get it twisted. Okay, to make this work. So there's obviously military in bed with NFL, and there's all this stuff, and then you've got Colin Kaepernick somewhat blackballed, or how he feels like he's blackballed. There may be some truth to that. But what I would say is, for me as a business owner, I run a T-Mobile store. I'm a business owner. I gotta do my checks and balances. And for me, Colin Kaepernick in the Harbaugh system was great. It did work. But was that alluded to the Harbaugh system? That's one question I would ask. The second is, outside of the Harbaugh system, Kaepernick has been average to lower average. So as somebody in charge of their own business, I'm not going to give Kaepernick a second or a third or a fourth look. Would I bring him into my camp to work out, to see what he can get, whatever? I don't have any buy-in on him, and as a business owner, I'm not super pumped to bring him on. Maybe he could do something, maybe he couldn't, but that's where my thought is. So I can see the blackballed, but for me, the return on investment's not there as a business owner.
So here's where I'll go with that. I completely agree with you. Now, we can talk about Colin Kaepernick's distraction and his off-the-field stuff. Do I think that is the reason that he's not in the league entirely? No. I will say that's a part of it. But I will say the other part is exactly what you said. He's not good enough. Mm-hmm. He's not a guy that's a difference maker on a team. He's a nice backup. Right. He would be great over in Seattle with Russell Wilson. Oh, man. Remember they had a meeting with him not too long ago. I'm not exactly sure what the details of that were or why they didn't know. It was like last year, going into last season. Yeah, they had a meeting with him. You've heard John Elway talk about, we brought Colin in, we offered him a contract, he didn't want it. I'm not really on John Elway's side with that. I understand what he's trying to say, but at the end of the day,
it was the money from San Fran as well.
It was the money from San Fran. We talked about that. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's the fact that he is not he's not Deshaun Watson. You know what I mean? If he was lighting it up the way Deshaun Watson was lighting it up, if he was a guy that could just fall in line in any system, and he wasn't a product of that system in San Francisco and really having success under that one guy, because like you said, outside of Harbaugh, he hasn't really done much. He would definitely be in the league. He would be a starter. He would be kneeling, and teams would take him. If he was Russell Wilson, if he was Aaron Rodgers, if he was on that level, he would be starting in the NFL. He would be a player. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he is not on that level and he's basically going to be used as a backup, no team is willing to take that in combination with the controversy. They'll take the controversy all day if it means he's fucking a starter and he's going to lead you to the playoffs.
Jersey sales, all this other stuff. Yeah,
they'll take the controversy all day. But the fact that he's just not that good, and the controversy together, that's really why he's not.
The
in
juice
league.
is not
In
worth
my
the
opinion,
squeeze.
exactly.
And I would agree with that. I hate to agree with you on that, but I think that's absolutely correct too.
Because there's a ton of guys that have been allowed back into the league that have done way worse stuff than
Domestic
kneeling.
abuse.
Pac-Man Jones, just signed by the Denver Broncos. You know why? Because they need secondary help. They need a punt returner. They need a kick returner. Who's on the team? Pac-Man Jones. Guys like Greg Hardy, Alden Smith, they've all been had multiple chances in the league. They've had extra chances because they could still play at a high level. They could still start. They were still big-time players. Not Pac-Man Jones is a big-time player today, but let's be real. He shouldn't even have got the shot in Cincinnati again that he did.
Look what happened after Mike Vick served his term, all that. Brought him back in. Ended up fizzling out pretty quick. But, he earned
Eagles gave him a shot.
They gave him a shot.
Came back in. I think he spent a little brief stint with Pittsburgh as well. That's where I go with it. I don't think it's 100% the kneeling of the anthem and the controversy because we've seen it.
Right.
It's there. The history speaks to us. We've seen players commit 10 times worse crimes and be allowed back in the NFL because they could play. Colin Kaepernick can play. He just can't play at a high starting level. And I know there's going to be people, well, how do you know that? You haven't given him a shot. History has shown us outside of the Jim Harbaugh system. What has history shown us? Now maybe he's a different player today, but I'm not going to, outside of Brady, you normally don't get better with age. I mean, there's a few guys, Rodgers, I don't really know if Rodgers has really gotten better with age. He went to the 2 Super Bowls, lost one to Pittsburgh. He won, he won the one against Pittsburgh, and then did he lose? Wait, no. He has 2 Super Bowl rings, doesn't he?
Super Bowls, yep.
Or wait. I'm confused. I was thinking Pittsburgh over Arizona. Rodgers beat Pittsburgh, and then what? Is that it?
Does he?
Mike McCarthy? One Super Bowl. I think one Super Bowl win. I'm sorry. I was confusing Mike Tomlin's tenure with Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers' tenure with Green Bay. Tomlin's been twice. They've won one of the two. He won the one against Seattle right after, the one against Arizona after Bill Cowher retired, and then they went to the Green Bay one and lost.
Right.
So he's 1 for 2. I think Green Bay's only been to one with Rodgers. I don't know if Rodgers is getting better with time. I said all that to say that. I don't think he's really getting better with time. Tom Brady, obviously, is Tom Brady. He's been getting better. There's no decline in sight there. I wouldn't even say Peyton Manning got that much better with time. I mean,
he was just super intelligent and could control that line, and that bought him a lot of time. I don't know if his body could have held up and should have held up.
I honestly don't know that many players get better after they're 31, 32, 33.
For an elite player, a running back has got 3 to 5 in the league, maybe. Quarterback just a little bit longer than that if you're really, really great. But time. So what we're going by is just history, and I think that's absolutely correct.
Yeah,
he's not going to get any better.
That's where I mean, that's the argument that I would, for anyone that's like, well, maybe you don't know what he's doing these days. You don't know what he's got these days. That's the argument I would give you. History has just shown us. I'm going off history, what we've seen, how it's happened. I'm not going off what ifs and maybes and buts and ands and ums. We're going off history, and what history has shown us is you generally don't progress as you get into your early 30s. You kind of start to decline, or you stay the same.
Right.
And if he's staying the same, what has the same showed us? He's not good outside of Harbaugh's system.
And you had multiple teams look at him in the last 2 or 3 years, and they just have not signed him. So there's obviously more reason than just even history there. The facts aren't there with the way he's producing. He's not producing enough to be on this on a start, on a professional NFL team
as a starter. That's kind of where I'll leave it, man. I respect what Colin Kaepernick's doing. I respect him as a man. I respect him as an advocate for his cause. The charitable work he's doing as an NFL player. I just think he's a simple backup, and with a simple backup coming with that kind of baggage, no team is just going to take it. I don't know that they're. The collusion case from before, maybe that's valid. I'm not sure. I don't know all the facts. But as far as them colluding today, I don't think they're colluding today because the skills aren't there.
So if he was in the league, you would not get rid of your DAC up for a cap up?
I had Dak Prescott as a backup quarterback in my fantasy. A couple, I think I had Dak in 4 of my 6. And I called him a Dak up quarterback. That's a little
wouldn't replace Dak up for no cap up.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I just don't. Not viable. Not a viable.
I like
starter.
what Colin's doing. With this platform. I'm proud of him, and he's definitely staying true to his feelings and how he feels. And I do think there is a real thing with police brutality. I think for young black women and black men, I think that does happen. That is happening. And if I said it wasn't, I'd be lying. So I love what he's doing with his platform.
Yep.
You know, can it be viewed as disrespectful to the military, to the American flag, to America? Yes, but the devil's advocate to that is this is America.
You just said, can it be viewed? That's the perfect statement right there. That's someone viewing it that way. That's not him saying, fuck America.
Yeah.
I'm kneeling. That's not him saying any of that. People are putting meaning on that.
They are.
If that's you, you're putting that meaning on the flag. You're putting that value on the anthem. You're making up that story in your mind. That's not what's actually happening. If that's the way you feel, great. That's the way you feel. But you can't expect everyone else to feel the same way as you do. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of, I think we're good on that. That's kind of where I leave it. I don't, again, like to get too political on the show just because it's not my lane. I don't wake up and watch Fox News or CNN or any of these political channels. I honestly don't know what the fuck's going on in the world of politics with the president and all that stuff. I don't care. I have too much other stuff on my plate. I just don't care enough.
Sure.
So moving on from that, let's jump into sneakers. I see this Adidas box here. Why don't you let me see that?
Yeah, man.
I think you. We talked about this on the last episode. You were super pumped to get these in. If you are not watching on the YouTube channel and don't have the ability to see everything visually here, and you're just listening, right now Dallas is pulled out, and I'm holding the AM4 BJKs. Man, so you know how they had the AM4 LAs, they had the AM4 NYCs. These are the AM4 Billie Jean King sneaker here, and this is actually really, really dope, man. What is this upper? It's kind of like, it's not quite prime knit, but it's not. It's like an engineered mesh, I guess, maybe?
Yeah, I would think so. It's like an engineered mesh / prime knit, super stretchy, super nice. But I think the reason they do it a little different than PK is because it's a running shoe. It's like it's a little bit more supportive with that woven structure in there. Very, very nice. The one thing people are hating on this shoe is the nice little portrait, the almost cartoony portrait of Billie Jean King in the front.
Why are people hating on that? I told you that's probably one of the sickest parts of the shoe.
They're like, why did you have to put that portrait of her on that thing? It just ruins the shoe. But for me, I just love what it means.
That's dope.
But there's a lot of people that say, "Oh man, that portrait just absolutely kills."
What
that
she did
shoe.
for the game, such a legend. She deserves to have her face on there, man.
The women's movement, the match against Bobby Riggs, the battle of the sexes, 1 out of 300.
Wait. It says 1 out of 300 on the toe. Is your sneaker number one?
It is not.
Oh.
Every pair says 1 out of 300.
Gotcha.
There is only one way, or there's two ways to actually know what pair and what numbered pair yours is. You can they have an NFC chip inside the actual tongue here.
Yep.
Or if you look at the box, you have a QR code scanner on every box. And by scanning that with your iPhone, whatever, your barcode scanner, that'll tell you what pair, what manufactured pair yours is. Would you like to know?
These?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're gonna wear it. Yeah. Well, did you already scan it or what?
Of course I did, man.
What is it?
It's pair number 161.
Nice.
Not a great number, not a shitty number. But
my Jordan 1 wings.
Yeah.
It's one of, not as limited as these, obviously. I think there were 19,400 pairs produced. Mine's 141.
Really?
100. Yeah.
Do you know what mine is?
What?
Like 17,000 something.
Yeah, garbage. Garbage number.
Mine's super. That's probably my size.
This is tight though. 161 of 300.
Yeah, man. So
what'd you pay on these?
I actually paid $250 shipped.
And retail?
What is it? I think it's 200.
Holy shit, that's good, man.
So
50 over retail?
Yeah, and here's the deal. If I set on these for just a little while, they're just so limited that after time, they're going to go up.
Yeah.
But me, I'm a collector. I'm not letting these out of my collection. So I feel like it's pretty pertinent that I got to wear these soon, just because you don't want the boost to wear out. And I think this is a shoe to be worn, to be seen, to make an impression, and to celebrate the success.
Give me some info on the sizing on these. Just the AM4s in general, and then this pair. Are they the same as other AM4s?
It sounds like it. Yeah, I hit up a couple buddies on Twitter because this is my first pair of AM4s.
Oh, really? I thought for some reason you had the the LAs, the
tried.
Juice Box collab.
Oh yeah, no, I will get those when the price is right, but I have not owned a pair of AM4s yet.
Gotcha.
So
that's the one I'm looking for. Is those ones with the wild, crazy yellow, red, and green.
Yeah,
prime knit's all different.
For sure.
All that stuff, yeah. Those look dope.
So what I would say is if you've got a wide foot, this may not be the shoe for you, but that being said, the AM4 silhouette does run long. Okay. So, so typically, I'm 10.5 true to size. So your 1.0s, 2.0s, I'm going to wear 10.5 all day. Hell, I can even wear 11 if I have to. I get some thick socks. But for me, typically I go 10s, size 10 in any PK model design. But in these, they run so long that this size 9 fits like a glove.
Really?
It gives me that NMD feel.
Oh, yeah, shit, I didn't even notice these are size 9.
That sock-like feel. I went in a size 9 on these.
That's wild.
And they fit incredible. So, don't take my word for exact sizing, but I would tell you they would run long and go with that for sure.
So your true to size is what, 10?
10.5 in
10
some
and
of
a half.
in the older models, but I wear 10s in a lot
What
of
do you wear in
shoes.
J's? Like a Jordan 1.
Jordan 1, I wear 10.
That's
but
where I think your true to size is.
Jordan 3 and
whatever
4.
You wear, a Jordan 1.
Yeah, Jordan 3 and 4, though, I wear 10.5.
No, you don't.
I do. There's more
Why?
padding in there. There's more padding in there, and I need that half size.
Interesting. Remember those Motorsport 4s or not Motorsport, Raptors 4s that I just got?
The worst.
Worst shoe. I already sold my pair.
Good.
Spoiler alert. If you watch the vlog, yeah, they were just too wide. They looked like a skate shoe. I didn't like them. Anyway, those fit small, but that's the first 4 I've had that fit small like that.
Oh, really?
Something about that whole shoe,
man.
I just had to get rid of. I had to wash my soul of that thing. I got it. Wasn't a huge fan. Wanted to love it. Tried to love it. Tried it with multiple outfits. And then finally, I just had to wash my hands of it because I was so disappointed and so grossed out, and so just had to get rid of the shoe.
I'm glad you got rid of it because I was not feeling that shoe.
I thought it would be brighter.
When our plug hit us up to get that early, I said, absolutely not. That fucking shoe can go to hell.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, that was strange. But okay, so these you would suggest people go a whole size down from their true to size?
I would say at least a half size.
At least
and
But
a
you
whole
in a hole.
size. A whole size might be a little aggressive.
You in a hole. What do you mean?
For me, it worked.
You in a hole. If you're saying you're size 10.5, you in a whole size and a half down. From a 10.5 to a 9.
All I can tell you is it
Dallas,
works.
give the people some fucking advice here. Jesus.
It works for me, but it sounds like the people that I hit up, the kind of my go-tos, they're all going a half size down, and they're comfortable with that. So some people like a little bit of room in there, going a half size down. You'll have that. Going a full size down, it fits like a fucking sock.
All right.
And that's what I wanted in this model.
All right, so let's move on from there. The Billie Jean Kings, they're dope. Give me the details on the Childish Gambino situation, man.
Childish Gambino, the rapper, the multi-talented,
the actor,
anything that you can imagine. I'm super pumped for this guy. But I believe it was either yesterday or the day before. He is the latest and greatest ambassador for Adidas.
I don't know if you'd say greatest. Let's relax. Guy just signed the contract. We ain't even seen a collab yet. Let's relax with greatest.
Here's the deal. I'm just really excited for him. I think he's a very talented guy. We just talked about his acting, his versatility with music. I think he is just getting started in the game, and I'm just super pumped for him and his success. I will read a direct quote from him that he came out on his Adidas partnership that I love. He says, "I believe it's important not to feel like ideas are bound by specific guidelines, and Adidas Originals has given me the opportunity to create on my own terms. I'm looking forward to seeing what that leads to."
I think that's the theme of Adidas, man. With all the creators, they've really allowed them to do whatever they want to do as designers of the sneaker, colorways, all kinds of stuff. They've really allowed them to take control of their sneaker and do what they want. We've seen that with Pharrell, probably the most notable other than Yeezy. Yep. He's been able to kind of create whatever he wants, and what's resulted is a pretty hype sneaker. I mean, every single pair of Pharrells that's dropped has resale value, even though the most recent ones, resale isn't that much. They've kind of climbed the price on them up to $250. I think that's a little high. Resale, you're sitting under $300 on a lot of the newer pairs, maybe just over $300 in some sizes, but the OG ones, they're going for $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, $1,200, depending on the colorway. And I think that depending on what he comes with, I don't know, man. Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, he's a weird guy. He's very unique. He's an artsy, fartsy kind of just unique, weirdo kind of guy. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that in a negative way, or I'm not putting any negative connotation on that. That's just what he is, man. He's a real, some people would have called Kanye a weird guy when he first got into hip hop, As Jay-Z said, you a real soulful dude. I don't know if you ever heard the first Kanye album, College Dropout. Jay-Z told him that when he walked in the room. Anyway, I think Donald Glover's in the same lane as Pharrell, as Ye. He's a weirdo kind of. It's perfect. It's a perfect signing for Adidas to continue down that path, and I'm excited to see what he creates. Now, am I super? What's the word I'm looking for? Am I super eager to see the design? No. because I just don't think he's going to come out with something that I'm going to be that pumped about.
Yeah.
Because I'm the opposite. I'm not really an artsy, fartsy, unique kind of I don't know. I'm not a painter. I'm not a, you know what I mean? This is a guy that if you walked into his house and he was barefooted in a pair of jeans, very snug, tight fit jeans, no shirt on with paint all over himself and his hair all crazy like he hasn't washed it in 3 days, you wouldn't be surprised. That's just the kind of guy he is. Like he's kind of weirdo.
Totally.
Like Jim Carrey's kind of turned into that weirdo kind of similar guy. So it's not just musical artists, it's actors and stuff too. Some of those people are just those artsy kind of people. And I don't know that what he's going to come out with is going to, that I'm going to probably be that pumped on. I'm kind of skeptical, to be honest with you, but I like the signing for Adidas overall. I think he fits their branding. He fits their mold. And that's kind of where I'm at on it.
Yeah, I kind of see him, coming out with something that is or resembles a Stan Smith. I see him wearing kind of the sandals in the back of my mind. So, maybe he does his own, custom slides. Kanye's doing that. They have the Yeezy slides that we talked about. So I see this guy wearing kind of slides and maybe like that Stan Smith kind of look. Looking type of shoe, and if that is the case, I'm out. I'm not going to be buying that type of stuff. That's not for me. I kind of like the newest, latest, and greatest technology. If I'm buying an Adidas, it better have Boost. That's just how I roll. But I'm curious to see what it looks like. Is it going to be kind of hipster-ish, artistic-ish, multicolored, a lot of paints, or is it going to be that neutral? Because I see Childish Gambino wearing a lot of neutral colors, a lot of neutral clothing that is still very artsy. But I'm curious to see what comes out of it.
Did you see the post that John Wexler put up? It's a little cartoon of Childish Gambino kind of announcing that
I did.
He signed to Adidas. That was cool.
Yeah.
Did you also see the I almost said, I don't think it's vegan. I think it's vegetarian Stan Smith, Stella McCartney joints made of no leather? Did you see those?
I don't remember the
it
picture.
is vegan. It is vegan.
Is it?
Yes. Adidas launches vegan Stan Smith shoes designed by Stella McCartney. So I don't want to pick up the laptop and turn it for you, but yeah, if you just Google vegan Stan Smith Stella McCartney or vegan Stan Smith Adidas, you'll pop up a photo there. They actually look really dope on the tongue. They've got some portraits there and some hits. It looks like Stan Smith and Stella McCartney are featured on each of the tongues of the shoes, which are super fucking sick. And it says their names too on there. I don't know if you've seen that. That's really dope. I think the back has some, it almost has a little bit of a Sean Witherspoon vibe to me, just the back of the sneaker, because it has Stella McCartney's name with the Adidas logo in the middle, but then it has these 3 stripes and they're kind of this blue, maroon, like really 90s kind of vibe on the back of the shoe, which kind of reminded me of not the colors of the Witherspoon, but that similar, like that weird bland yellow with the green and the gray and just that 90s Volkswagen bug joint.
When I look at it, it looks like a racing stripe on like an old Mustang or like an old muscle car to me.
That's what you're getting out of it?
Yeah, that's what I get at it when I look at it.
I don't know, something with that maroon and the blue together. It's just like a combo you'd see in the 90s on like a windbreaker or something like that. And then it's also got the maroon insole on them too. So
is it fuzzy? It looks fuzzy.
Yeah, I can't tell. But overall, I think it's a dope concept and a dope idea. I'm not vegan at all or vegetarian or anything.
No.
I love meat, but I
support the vegans.
Yeah.
But
I don't necessarily support or shame anyone for any fucking thing. I think you just got that from my vibe on the Colin Kaepernick situation. I just let people live, dog. If it's not fucking affecting me directly and I'm not bothered, if you're not. Like, I don't let that shit bother me. I don't look down the block and be like, what the fuck's going on over there?
Yeah.
It looks like some shit I wouldn't agree with. I got to go over there and know what the fuck's going on. I put my head down and I move forward because I don't give a fuck. It's the same reason that I don't go respond to people's YouTube videos in the comments or troll people. I just don't have the time or the energy for it. Sure. I really don't, man. Yeah. I really don't. I live and let live. I think this is cool because of the fact that it's something that Stella McCartney, if you don't know anything about her, she is a hardcore vegan. Mm-hmm. A lot of the stuff, the collabs and stuff they've done with her before have been prime knit, hasn't been leather. Yeah. So my guess is when they came to her and said, "Hey, we want to make a Stan Smith version of you," she said, "As long as it's not leather, bro."
Yeah. She's a huge supporter of PETA. Yep. Well known with that. Yeah, man, awesome. I think even her house has, in 2001, she's like came out and said she refused to use any leather in the house. Just a huge supporter of PETA and vegan.
Stella's
for sure.
probably she's probably one of the biggest influencers on Adidas, and then she's definitely the biggest woman. This is the 13th drop they've done this year with Stella McCartney.
Yeah,
that's a lot, dude. That she's done a lot. She's done more than Pharrell. She's up there with Ye. I don't even know how many Yeezys or any of that shit's dropped.
Right.
But she's dropped 13 collabs this year. That's nuts.
It's a lot. Yep.
And we don't see a lot of that on the men's side of things, obviously, because we don't buy the women's version of the shoe. But Boost Goddess and some of those other women, Brooklyn and a couple of the other girls that are in the Boost sneaker game that we follow on Twitter, and they're always so cool. Some of the coolest people in the sneaker game too, because they have a genuine love for sneakers, and I love to see women in the sneaker game and having a love for sneakers. I know some people are like, oh, they came on late and they whatever. I'm not that guy again.
Right.
I'm not that fucking old. I'm not that concerned with what other people are doing. Live and let live, baby.
That's it.
Live and let live.
My lady actually has a pair of Stellas, and then I got my district manager boosted. She's got a couple. She got 2 pairs of Stellas now. So, yeah, man, Stella, she makes some great models, some great silhouettes, great concepts. Great advocate for Adidas, man.
To wrap up the Sneaker Talk 2.0 Ultra Boost Reflective announced on a restock or a re-release, whatever you want to call it. Tell me what you know about that.
So there's no exact dates on this restock. This is just something that came to fruition here soon. I saw it on Sneaker News, but a great silhouette.
This is the white pair we're talking about, right?
No, this
with
is
all the silver sparkles in them, or is it the black pair?
This is the black pair.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is the black pair, black heel cup. So you obviously have the 3M reflective in there. This is one pair that I didn't have. I didn't go after because I have the silver metals.
I was just gonna say. That you took the words out of my mouth.
Which has a lot of the same colors. To the actual shoe, and of course you have the silver heel cup versus the black. So. You know what? I will tell you.
If you're going to get the pair, you got to go with the Olympic version. You got to have the silver heel cup. Why would you get the exact same shoe with a black heel cup? Unless maybe you're bitch made and you don't like loud shit. No,
right.
I'm just playing.
Well, and the one thing I would say is this one's 3M, but I don't believe the Olympic was 3M.
Was it not?
I don't think it was.
Wow.
I don't think it was.
That seems strange because it looks like the exact same shoe.
It's the same pattern, same everything, but I don't believe the Olympic was full 3M.
You're bullshitting. Let me look that up really quick.
I'm almost positive.
Do you still have the rest of the Olympic pack?
Yes, I still have the gold and silver. I never bought the bronze. I don't own the bronze because that shoe's trash.
That one is they did the bronze dirty on that pack. It's like a matte black heel,
matte bronze heel club that just looks like shit.
Yeah.
The pattern on the toe box, which was hated until here recently. Now the 2.0 is coming up, but everybody hated the 2.0 gradient, man. And the bronze one, I will agree, looked like shit from head to toe.
Yeah, it's I wasn't a huge fan of it. Let me see. I have the silver medals pulled up here.
But I still have my gold and silver, and the gold is one of my favorites. Both are dead stock. still kind of afraid to wear those.
Of course.
But
anything you have that's heat. When you got these the other day and you posted the picture on Twitter, I was going to be a real dick and retweet it and be like, oh, cool, another pair you'll never wear.
Another pair you'll never wear.
Another pair you'll shelf.
Okay, Eminem, nice rhyming today.
Another pair you're going to shelf, like Eminem tried to do MGK on his project, according to MGK and the diss record.
Fair enough.
That's fire, too. That's a good behind-the-scenes shit.
Yeah, but there are no release dates as of yet on this 2.0. It was just released that it was going to be restocked. But if we look back at the 2.0 multicolor, it was said that it was going to restock, and it was literally probably 3 weeks later, maybe even a month, depending on how early you saw the leaks. So I assume in a couple weeks, be expecting to see this shoe drop.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about 3M on those. I think you might be right.
Yeah, I don't believe those silver medals. Let's phone a friend, man. Should we call the Boost God?
Yeah, call him up right now.
Call him up.
Yeah,
but
maybe you guys can help us in the comments. I don't know. I didn't see it. If you own that pair, are they 3M on the Olympic pack? I would just like to know.
I'll go home and take a picture tonight.
Because if they are 3M,
Why would you go after this pack?
There'd be no point to buy this reflective 2.0. In my opinion, I just feel like if you're gonna go halfway, go all the way. Get yourself a nice silver heel cup. Get yourself some shine. Walk around shining on fools. Maybe you're eating a salad at lunch. You need to figure out if you got some stuff stuck in your teeth. Boom, you pop your shoe off. You look in that heel cup. You got a little mirror right there. I know we got selfie cams on the phone. Maybe your phone's dead.
Selfie cups.
Yeah, there you go. Selfie cup right
I
there.
like it.
Boom, heel cup. Are we cool on sneakers, man? Are you good? Anything else you want to run down on sneakers? Anything coming up this week you're looking to cop? Anything? I kind of was looking through the release calendar. Wasn't that hyped. International Flight 12s, I think, is probably the biggest release this weekend. Do you think those are going to sit or go?
The International Flight 12s, I think they'll sit for a little while.
I like that pattern they have underneath. I really want to see them in hand.
Yeah.
But I like the details I've seen. The insole or the inside of the shoe looks really, really dope. It's got a cool pattern on it. The outside of the suede has a really cool pattern kind of cut in there. I think they actually look really dope. But
to me, it looks like a flower. Like that pattern on the side looks like a flower, which is weird to me.
I love that navy and white, man. I'm a sucker for that navy and white.
And see, I don't wear a lot of navy, so I think it'll sit for the most part. I think there'll be some people that are pumped on
You're
it.
more gavy.
Yeah.
Anyway, go.
I think your boy Mike Rich will be pumped on that shoe.
Clank,
clank,
dog.
clank, in my humble opinion. But, and then what do you have? Let's see. What do you think about these Air Jordan 3s? Do you pronounce it the AWOKs? AWOKs? AWOKs?
Yeah.
Did you see those?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think about those?
Not too much of a fan. I'd honestly rather cop the Flyknit 3s. That just dropped, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Are those only in women's too?
As far as I know, yeah, because there's...
I couldn't cop them anyway. Then.
And
Stop
it's
wasting
weird.
my time, fool.
It's weird because they have some connection to Vogue.
Yeah, I saw
If
that.
you look at that.
I saw that.
They have it on the insole there. So
I didn't research it though because I
you know.
can't cop them.
a little glistening to them, but yeah, I assume those will probably sell.
What about? I guess I totally forgot about the uncaged. Those uncaged Ultra Boost dropping with the stars on them.
Oh yeah,
Did you
for
see
sure.
that pack too?
Supposedly, I was reading about them, and they're a pretty quality build in terms of materials and whatnot. But
If that upper, everything about that shit is fire except for I'm not a fan of that royal blue.
Yeah.
If they were not royal blue, because I just wouldn't wear them. Same thing with the, what are those mids they came out with that are royal blue?
Same thing with the Billie Jean Kings.
Same with the Billie Jean King. I can't fuck with the royal blue.
Yeah.
I think I think the concept's dope, but I just know I would never wear the
What was
shoe.
that Jordan 1, the Game 1 Royals?
Game 1 Royals, crap. OG Royals, not a huge fan of them. You saw my pair all damaged up.
Yeah,
all,
for sure.
Mismatched leather and shit. But anyway, if they were red on the upper, if they were any other color on the upper, I'd be a big fan. Even though I've kind of fallen out of love with the uncaged a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I don't wear a ton of my uncaged. I think the only pair that I currently have in rotation that I wear,
Ooh, I know which ones.
the Trace Khaki.
The khaki joints with the orange boost.
Those are fucking sick to me.
Fire.
You wear those with a pair of khaki shorts in the summer, man. Those things, and a Von Miller jersey, bam, setting
big.
it off. Those are dope. But I like that pair. That's the only pair I probably really fuck with.
What did you think about the public school New York Air Force Ones?
Dude, I kind of like them. The baseball lacing system kind of looks like a baseball cleat type of. Dude, that shit looks fucking dope to me, and I'm not really a fan of forces, but they sold out quick, right?
The gray pair sold out really quick. I think the white pair and black pair, you could get them.
Are they available in any? They're not available locally, right?
No,
PSN wise.
I don't think anybody has them locally.
See, and that's another pair that I just got to try on before I buy. I probably would never get them though. They're all white. They're gonna get smoked. Not a big fan of forces, but they got me intrigued.
Yeah, the black pair is cool. I think the most hyped pair was the gray tan or gray khaki pair, which was pretty fire. That sold out almost instantly. So that was kind of my favorite pair. But the materials look really nice. Public school has always had great materials on all their collabs. So I think you're probably going to get a nice quality shoe. You're probably going to get a leather insole. I don't know all these things, but that was one that dropped this week as well.
Let's. I think I'm cool on sneakers. If you're good on sneakers, we got to kind of get into getting down to the last couple topics here. Let's touch on Le'Veon Bell before we get into our heaters, man.
All right.
Le'Veon Bell obviously holding out. That is going to affect. Not affect, but it kind of puts a damper on one of my heater picks, man. My most solid fucking one of the week. It kind of puts a damper on it. We'll get into that in a minute. Le'Veon Bell holdout. What do you got on that?
All right, Le'Veon Bell. So Long story short, right? He is not wanting to sign the franchise tender tag at $14.54 million, right? So here he is. I think they were trying to see if he was going to show up yesterday, I believe, to see if we could get him in on week 1. He didn't. And now his offensive line. Marquise Pouncey came out and had some words for him and just saying, hey, man, how could you do this? How could you let money get in the way of team? It's not just one person. It's not one individual. And, dude, I get that. Football is definitely a team sport. You got to have the supporting cast. If you're one elite person, that may not make a shit. Just look at Denver. We have a shit offensive line. We've had that for, the last, 5 years, 6 years?
Peyton's last year.
Dude, the only reason Peyton was able to get through it was because he's super fucking smart.
Yeah.
He controlled the line.
Defense, too.
And the defense was great, right?
Worst offense to ever win a Super Bowl there.
Oh, my God. That's for sure. So, with that, he obviously didn't show up yesterday, and so he's not going to be on week 1, it looks like. What I would say, did you see much of Le'Veon's agent yesterday?
No.
The things that he was saying?
No, what was he saying?
Well, I can find the direct quote. But
I saw some of the tweets from his offensive linemen. I saw some of the people being disgruntled in that direction, but I didn't see anything from the who'd you say, the offensive coordinator? Oh, no, his agent.
His agent. Yeah, so his agent was a big factor in this. So let's look at Marquise Pouncey. So he's clearly done with Bell's absence. So says he'd much prefer Bell just to say when he's going to show up, even it's a week 10. So he's like, why play hide and go seek? Why let your agent say this? Just man up and tell us what you're going to do. So his agent basically says, my client, he's just trying to get the best deal. And his agent doesn't believe that Pittsburgh kind of has Le'Veon's best interest. His agent is concerned that the Pittsburgh is just going to fucking put him through the ringer, have all the 30.
His agent's concerned?
Yeah, 30-plus runs a game and just
beat him into the ground.
Beat him into the ground,
Makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, Le'Veon Bell touched the ball over 400 times last year.
Yep.
Okay? Nobody else, no other running back came close to that, touching the ball that much. So you don't think that this is the last time the Steelers can franchise him. You don't think they're going to bring him in, franchise him, run that fucker into the ground, and then let him go to free agency? That's the agent's concern. I think it's honestly valid.
That's his agent's concern, and his agent is like, hey, we need more money, and I think his agent even spoke on, hey, elite running backs only have a certain amount of time. We're just trying to get the best money for my client. That's really it.
It's the truth, though. What other position in the NFL has a shorter shelf life, but also has as much competition at that position? Quarterbacks are paid the way they are because they're not a dime a dozen. Offensive linemen are paid the way they are because they're not a dime a dozen. There's not Hall of Fame offensive linemen coming out of the draft every year. There's barely offensive linemen that are going to give you a 5-year career. Those guys, if you have a cornerstone offensive lineman, that guy is going to last you probably upwards of 12 years, 10, 12 seasons, and you're going to pay him. Yeah. And it's going to be worth it because it's going to protect your quarterback, your other investment, and it's going to open up holes for your running back. But running backs are a dime a dozen. A dime a dozen. I was going to get into this the other day, and I forgot. You remember, I don't know, this may be reaching. The Minnesota Vikings preseason game, Rock Thomas. Do you remember Rock Thomas? Minnesota Vikings running back gashed the shit out of the Broncos. Gashed us up.
Yes.
Gashed us up, bro. Rock Thomas. Who the hell's Rock Thomas? I looked him up because I was like, is this guy a fucking all-star? Who is this guy? Who the fuck is Rock Thomas? Besides having a tight-ass name, who is Rock Thomas? Rock Thomas is a guy out of like Jacksonville State who came in and just ripped the Broncos up. Now, I get it was preseason, but he was running against the first-teamers, and they did not look good. This guy, I'm gonna pivot here in a second. I'm going to bring it back to the Le'Veon Bell conversation. But this guy, you know who Rock Thomas is similar to? Chris Carson. Spoiler for all you fantasy motherfuckers this weekend.
Seattle.
And I hate that I'm saying this on this podcast because I'm going to be playing you guys in DraftKings, and a lot of you guys are probably going to take this advice and run with it. Chris Carson is my motherfucking guy this weekend. He is going to kill the Broncos. Broncos are having trouble stopping the run. Chris Carson is just like Rock Thomas. He's a violent, run right at you, speedy, shifty, elusive guy. Rashad Penny's going to be the guy in Seattle, but Chris Carson is no joke. Chris Carson's going to go off on the Broncos this weekend. Invesco Field a mile high. You guys better be ready. That guy's going to be running for first downs left and right. And unless I'm missing something, the Broncos all of a sudden shored up their run defense from what I've seen all preseason. It does not look good. And Chris Carson's that guy, and he runs just like Rock Thomas does. And we clearly had trouble tackling that guy.
I got him starting in 2 leagues
Chris
this
Carson's
week.
the man. If you did not get him on your fantasy squad, play DraftKings this weekend. Win yourself some money. Chris Carson's my guy. That is my lock and load player this week. Chris Carson against the Denver Broncos run defense. That's the guy to go with. But bringing that back to Le'Veon Bell, who the fuck is Chris Carson? Same situation.
Right.
He's a guy that nobody knows, but he can step in and play. Now, Le'Veon Bell's special. Don't get me wrong. He's a special guy. He's a special talent. He's like nothing we have ever seen because of the way he catches the ball out of backfield. That guy probably caught between 60 and 80 balls last year, I'm guessing. But with over 400 touches, he probably caught, included in that, between 60 and 80 passes in the 2017 season. And he came in right before the first game, if you remember last year, or he came in right before week 1. So I don't feel like the running back position is special. I do feel like they are a dime a dozen, but I feel like Le'Veon Bell's a little bit of a unique case.
He is.
I think he is going to be good for a long time. Actually, not a long time. I think he'll be good for the next 3 years.
That's what
in
I'm
his
having,
prime.
3 to 4.
But he doesn't want that. He wants a 5-6 year deal.
Yeah.
He's not going to be good in 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Running backs just don't last that long. I know. Trust me. I'm a guy that's had a dynasty league going since 2006, and my first pick was Cadillac Williams. Okay? Give me a break. I had Cedric Benson on the squad. I go back. I go back on fantasy. I was back when I was a young kid. I was faxing in rosters, okay? Before all this internet app shit. I was faxing in fucking rosters, all right?
Totally.
Don't fucking talk to me about fantasy. Anyway.
What's your take on James Conner now?
I think listen, I don't know.
Is he the next Rock Johnson?
No, Rock Thomas.
Oh, Rock Thomas, sorry.
No, he comes he comes in good this week. I think he'll have a good game. I think he's a good running back. I think he's solid. He's a guy that is like a Corey Clement is who he reminds me of in Philly behind Jay Ajayi. That guy could step in and play. You saw him at the end of last year when Ajayi started getting nicked up. Clement came in and looked great. I think Connor's the same way. I think he'll come in Le'Veon Bell's absence. He'll do a good job. He'll be serviceable, but he's not Le'Veon Bell. Let's be real. That's kind of where I sit on it. And I agree with Le'Veon Bell. Just to put a capper on this situation, I agree with him. I think he should be paid more money. I think he should get a contract, and he should do everything he can to go after that because running back shelf life is short. Yeah. You're not an offensive lineman. You're not going to get another big deal. You're going to get one big deal. This is the one big deal for you. You got to go take advantage of that. That's where I stand on it. But I see the Pittsburgh Steelers side too.
I think it sucks for the team, but most NFL teams, they're professionals.
I do think it's bullshit that the offensive linemen are getting involved and chiming in. Let the man fucking do his shit. It's not concerning you. It doesn't matter. I guess it is concerning you. He's on your team and he's your running back. But you're saying some of these quotes from these linemen I've seen, they're saying he's good because of us, basically, something like that. I forgot who said that.
And I also read that.
I was like, what?
Like Ramon Foster on Le'Veon Bell. He's making 7 times what I make and twice as much as Al Villanueva.
That's who the guy.
And we do it for him.
That's what it was. And we do it for him. So basically, he's saying that they're the reason that Le'Veon Bell is what he is. Right. Do I agree with that? Halfway. I think it's 50-50. I think Le'Veon Bell's who he is because he's who he is. Mm-hmm. But I think having a good offensive line doesn't fucking hurt. Would he still be the way he is here in Denver? Maybe not because the line's not as good.
Right.
But I think he'd still be productive. He'd still be serviceable. But if you have an offensive coordinator that knows how to get him the ball, I think he'd still be successful.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think it's all you. Let's relax over there, line. Just calm down. Yeah. Jesus. Guy's one of the best running backs we've seen in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm cool on the Bell situation. Are you good on that?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Let's go ahead and jump into our point spreads. And this is the little section we call on the podcast. We call this one Heaters.
All right, Em. This is my heater. I dare you to hit it.
Hot shit. I'm going too hot, lady.
Here comes the hot sniper.
This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. Let it, check it and see. Hot
Oh. All right, Dal, jumping into your first heater, we're going to kind of go with your most confident down to some ones that you just think are cool. So let's go ahead and go with your first one, then I'll give you my first one.
All right, so what I'm most confident, we talked about it a little earlier, and I'm just confident with the Eagles tonight. And I know
What?
I am.
Look at you.
I am.
Popping the cherry, busting it out. First game. You're the kind of guy that comes out on Thursday night and puts big money down in the first game, loses it and tries to make it all back on Sunday, loses and then tries to double it down on Monday night and win it all back.
No,
there,
I got to make it back from you, man. I'm a 20 spot. and then
gosh.
the DK's on top. So
Oh, my
I'm just
Lord.
be caking up, man.
Go ahead.
But I
Go
do
ahead.
like the Eagles at home, coming off the Super
That's
Bowl
terrible.
win.
This is your most confident game?
Dude,
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I do.
If you guys want to lose money, take Dallas picks.
You know what? And the spread is definitely, obviously, went down quite a bit on this. But for me,
In your direction.
Yeah.
So that means the smart money is on the Eagles. That
You
means
got it.
everyone's coming in on the Eagles.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Coming in on the Falcons, taking the points.
taking the
So a
points.
lot of people got Falcons at 2.5 when it first opened. Now, if you're
Right.
betting the Falcons, you're only getting them at +1.
Well, and for me, like I said, for this is just I don't feel like it's an easy win. There are no easy wins in the No Fun League. But
They only have to cover 1 point.
yeah, for me,
They got to cover 1. They got to win the game by 2. They got to win the game by 2. If they win 22-21, that's a push. It's not a win for you.
Right.
It's a push. So they got to win 23-21.
Yeah.
They got to win by 2 points.
So I see
to cover.
I see them winning either by a field goal or a touchdown at home. That's where I'm at with this.
Again, for those of you that don't understand sports spreads, you can look it up on the internet, or you can just continue to follow the podcast, and I'm sure you'll learn as the year goes on here. We're going to be doing this every single week on Friday before going into the weekend, and you'll learn. You'll learn pluses, minuses. The team that's minus is favored. They have to give up that many points. The team that's plus is the underdog. They're getting points. So they don't necessarily always have to win the game. They can get points and still cover the spread and win you money in Vegas, even if they don't win the game. If that makes sense.
Right.
So that's where you're going.
Yeah,
Eagles.
that's where I would start.
Man,
What do you got?
I've got to go. And is this because I watched a little too much Hard Knocks? I don't know.
Oh my God.
But I got the Cleveland Browns.
He's gonna
My
do it.
lock of the week, Cleveland Browns against the Pittsburgh Steelers. No Le'Veon Bell. I think they go in there and they take advantage. I think they can win the game. Now, when they opened this line, they were a 6.5 point dog. They were getting 6.5. They were almost
what's
getting
that
a
now?
touchdown.
Minus 3.5?
-4.
Okay.
So we're now Pittsburgh is -4. So Cleveland's +4.
Okay.
So going into the game, they were almost getting a touchdown. I loved that play. I think it's going to end up being probably a 3-point game. I think either Cleveland wins by 3 or Pittsburgh wins by 3. But either way, Cleveland covers the spread because it's 4. So either way, Cleveland covers the spread. If they win by 3, you win. It's an easy win for you. If they lose by 3, you still win by a point. They cover the spread. Here's why. I'm going to go into this very, very carefully. Number one, I researched the shit out of this game.
Okay.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are another team I don't think that has really gotten better. I think maybe Juju Smith-Schuster in his second year is going to help out, free up Antonio Brown on the other side. Obviously, it's Antonio Brown, best wide receiver in the league. That's always a threat. That's always dangerous. So that kind of scares me a little bit. But Ben Roethlisberger got beat up in the preseason. He got a concussion. He got beat up at the end of last season. They actually didn't play at the end of last season. When they played the Browns, he didn't play. But you also think about the Browns last year. They didn't have Myles Garrett, their top pass rusher, for almost the whole year. He's going to be back. He's going to be giving Ben some trouble there on the defensive line, pass rushing off the edge. You have 2 new wide receivers in Josh Gordon and Jarvis Landry coming in the game. You have a serviceable quarterback, actually a pretty steady quarterback in Tyrod Taylor, as well as a capable backup in Baker Mayfield should something happen to Tyrod Taylor. Didn't have any of this last year. All this stuff is new. You also have Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, was the former offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. You forget that. He knows what they're going to do. He knows their tendencies. He used to game plan that Antonio Brown. He used to game plan that for Ben Roethlisberger and Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell is also out. I already mentioned that. That also plays into our favor here, taking Cleveland +4. If you bet it early in the week, congratulations to you. You got it at 6.5 or maybe even 7, depending on your sports book. But still, I think it's a viable play at +4, and that is my lock of the week. That's the one I'm high on. I'm very, very high on Cleveland this weekend. Am I going to come in here looking like a dumbass on Monday? We shall see, but I am so high on this game. I feel like, if it was a touchdown, I'm flying to Vegas this weekend. I'm throwing a rack down on it. I'm going to see JC at Urban Necessities. We're going down. We're going to throw down some racks, bro. We're going to be chilling at Caesar's Palace, throwing down racks, dude. We're going to come in and we're going to spend some money, and we're going to walk up in there in the Pharrells.
We're going to do this.
Anyways, that was my JC impression, Urban Necessities. But if it was a touchdown, I would go to Vegas and throw down some money. I still like it at +4. Obviously, just not as much as I liked it at +6.5. Number 2 for you.
Number 2 for me, I'm still kind of undecided on this.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
I'm not as confident as I want to be on this.
Oh, Jesus.
So let's go.
Are you JJ? What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm
undecided.
I'm JJ. I'm JJ, undecided, most silent man in podcast history. But hit me up with your second first, because the spread just changed on what I was going to talk about here. So
Spreads change every hour, Dal. Spreads change every hour on the hour, Dal.
Up until the game, for sure. I get
what
that.
What do you mean?
So I don't know. I don't know if I like this one as much as I did. What's your second?
That was the same kind of situation happened to me. I had the Ravens.
Because you had them yesterday and then they changed,
yeah,
right?
I had them at -7. Now I'm seeing -7.5. It may go back down to -7 by game time, but I like the Ravens -7.5 or -7 against Buffalo Bills. If you have the option to buy the half point down, buy it back down to 7, I would highly recommend that. That way you save yourself. If the Ravens win by a touchdown, even you at least push out and you don't lose that money. I would not take this bet at -7.5. I don't like the hook there, but I do think I think the Ravens win this game by 10 or more, to be honest with you. Buffalo's looked awful. They don't have a quarterback over there that's capable of getting it done. Their offensive line is terrible. LaShawn McCoy has the domestic violence issues. I don't even know who the guy is throwing to over there. Sammy Watkins is gone. I don't know what's happening in Buffalo. Buffalo is on the road at Baltimore week 1, and that defense is going to be sick this year. Jimmy Smith is back. He was out a lot of last year with an injury. I think Baltimore's D is really, really going to put some hurting on Buffalo this weekend. I'm going with Baltimore minus a touchdown, -7, giving up a touchdown, which I don't like to give up that many points, especially in week 1 where anything can happen, but I like the Ravens at home -7.
Okay. What about, for me, I have a lot of interest in this Texans-Patriots game.
Okay. I always stay away from betting against the Patriots, but
yeah, well,
who are you going for?
Because you're a Broncos guy, for sure.
I don't. Patriots fucking scare me. Bill Belichick does not care about blowing people out.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about who plays running back. Right. I don't like drafting Patriots running backs in fantasy. I don't like choosing them in DraftKings. The only guys I really fuck with on the Patriots are Brady and Gronkowski.
Right.
Those are the only 2 guys you know you're going to get production from a fantasy standpoint. As far as a betting standpoint, you just never know with the Patriots.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
Well, and I'm hoping it's kind of it's get our shit together year for the Patriots. And the reason I say that is because the Patriots obviously lost Patricia, so obviously to a head coach now. So there's some differences. McDaniels is still there, obviously. Belichick is still kind of the reason behind the season. You know, that is.
How much of an impact do you think Matt Patricia is going to have on them? I know he's with the Lions now, coaching them, head coach. Are the Patriots going to take a step back, or is someone going to step right in?
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping, obviously, because he's been there for a lot of years, right? And him and Belichick, best buds, doing this whole scheme together. Like, I've never seen a team that is just so on point together.
So you're taking the Texans or the Patriots?
So I'm actually taking the Texans in this one, and the reason I say that is you have Clowney at pretty much full strength. You've got Watt back. Now, he is coming from an injury, right? And he was out all year, but I'm really, really hoping that Deshaun Watson picks up exactly where he left off last year before the ACL. We haven't seen much from him, obviously, in the preseason, just trying to still get better, that kind of thing. So I am liking. Granted, it is in New England, so I'm not too pumped on that. But I think they're doing some transitioning. You lost Brandon Cooks, you lost Patricia. There's a lot of loss there, but the magician Belichick is still at the helm. But I think the Texans, this is the most full strength the Texans have been in the last 5 years. I like Deshaun. I like his versatility. I like Will Fuller. I haven't heard if he's playing for sure or not, but I think this is going to be an explosive offensive battle, and I'm hoping you now have the defense to back it up. It's a complete
Texans,
team.
What did you have in plus?
Let's see. I have the Texans I have New England at what? -6.5? Is that my latest update?
Yeah, I'm
Refresh
seeing
me.
6.5 as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna take.
Are we writing this down? JJ, are you writing this down, keeping track here? All right, so we've got me with Cleveland +4. We've got me with the Ravens -7. We've got you with the Texans plus 6.5. And then what was your first? Oh, the Eagles.
The
That's right.
Eagles.
Eagles -1 tonight. Jeez. Jeez. By the time you're hearing this podcast, Dal's already going to be 0-1 on the weekend for you guys.
Just you wait.
I don't know how you love that so much. I know we have a ton of people in Philly that love the shit out of the vlog. Listen, I fuck with you guys. I just, I like the Falcons tonight, man. I like Matty Ice coming in there.
I don't.
I like him coming in there. If Carson Wentz was playing, I would say a different story.
Yeah.
I just like it. Okay, Texans plus 6.5. I'm going to go with my third and final one. Mark me down. Chiefs +3 against the Chargers.
So here's the deal. That is the same. We haven't
Oh, you're
talked
agreed
about
on
this. That was my last.
You're going Chiefs.
Absolutely.
Chiefs. If you
Hands
look
down.
at my reasoning, if you look at Andy Reid's history in Week 1 games, it's pretty damn good. I mean, he's gone 4-1 since he's arrived in Kansas City. That bodes well for us. The new Patrick Mahomes scares me a little bit. I think he might take a little bit to get going, but they do have a good run game with Kareem Hunt. He does have a nice safety blanket, Travis Kelce. I like that. I think the Chargers don't really have if you've seen any Charger game at the old stadium, at the new stadium, it doesn't fucking matter. There's no home field support for the Chargers.
None.
In San Diego, no support. In LA, same thing, no support. They're playing at a Stalker Stadium, for Christ's sakes. All the LA support goes to the Rams. Chargers are not getting any of that support, so there's really no home field advantage. Honestly, it's probably going to be a sea of red over there. It's going to be the Chiefs fans, as we know, Chiefs travel well. We see them here in Denver. I fucking hate the Chiefs. We see those fuckers every year, twice a year. And the Chiefs fans travel well, man. They travel well here to Denver. They travel well in 2 other states. So I think out in LA, it's going to be quite a bit of Chiefs fans there. It's going to be more like a home game for the Chiefs than it is for the Chargers, and I like the Chiefs +3.
I do too. I still like the versatility of Tyreek Hill. I still wonder what they're going to do with him, but having the versatility of him, whether it's running back punts, whether it's anything, man, you could throw him slot, wide out, whatever. Tyreek and his versatility, I think is going to be a great. It's almost like the Deshaun last year. You never knew, and that's what opened up the running game that we discussed, right?
Yeah.
With Miller. I think you're going to see that with Kansas City. You just have so many deadly weapons.
So many weapons.
And going into
As
Los
long
Angeles,
as Mahomes can get comfortable and utilize those weapons, I don't see how they don't win this game.
Well, and Rivers is one of those quarterbacks, kind of like you think with Breeze. He's one of those guys that I'm just kind of waiting for him to fall off, or I even thought he might announce retirement this year.
Right.
Okay. So he's one of
Last
those,
year that was rumored out.
Yeah. So he's one of those guys that I'm just kind of waiting for him to fall off. And is this going to be the year? I think he'll get you your points that you need in fantasy, but I don't see him having a remarkable year this year.
Gotcha. I like it. I like it. So those are our heaters, man. That kind of wraps up heaters for this week. We'll be doing that every Friday, dropping those, and we have a bet on it for the entire season. Whoever has more wins at the end of the year. DraftKings. If you guys did not get your username in for DraftKings, I'll be adding those today or tonight. So I'll be putting all those in, and you'll be notified. If you want to join the DraftKings group, it's $5. It's going to be winner take all. Actually, I might have second place win $5 if I can set it up that way, just to get their money back.
Yeah.
But majority is basically going to be winner take all in the group. No limit. I'm going to let as many people as we want in there. If you fuck with the podcast, send me your username on Instagram, Twitter. They can send it to Dal. You can send it to me. You can put it in the comments here on YouTube, whatever you want. And I'll go ahead and add you into that group. Just send me your DraftKings username. $5 pool. All day Sunday. You can pick any team you want from the roster of guys. If you don't know how DraftKings works, study up on it. It's pretty fun. You have a $50,000 budget. Each player has a value. Yep, that's your salary cap. Each player has a value. You just have to select players within that stay underneath that $50,000. You can select just like normal fantasy. You start one quarterback, a couple receivers, a couple running backs, a flex, a tight end, a kicker. Just standard stuff. You're just picking guys. You have to stay under that $50,000. So that's what makes it hard, and that's what the strategy. That's what the strategy is there. So let's go ahead and jump into some quick hitters. Some quick hitting news stories. We'll just finish up the podcast. I have a news story for anyone that drives a Ford truck. Man, this is just a recall. Any of you guys that drive F-150 both regular cab and the super cab, 2015 to 2018. Ford has issued a recall on those. Apparently, something to do with the seat belts are causing fire or sparks and fire inside the cab. They've had 23 reports of smoke and fire in North America in these trucks. No injuries have been reported, but if you do have a Ford F-150 super cab or regular cab, 2015 to 2018, go get that shit fixed because they got a recall on it.
Just rubbing you raw.
Right, exactly. I don't know, literally. I don't know what's going on there, but I feel like that's some important news for people that drive those vehicles.
Yeah, no doubt. For me, another quick hit I would say is there was a flight yesterday leaving Dubai and heading into New York's John F. Kennedy Airport. And what they found is numerous passengers fell ill on this flight. So as many as 100 passengers, including some crew members, complained of illness, including cough and some fever.
I heard about this. I didn't see live.
Yeah, so literally they ultimately 19 were actually...
It was a double-decker plane, too, right?
And 19 were actually designated as definitely sick. 10 went to the hospital, and 9 refused medical attention. Here's my thing. Is this the new flu? Is this the new Ebola? What's happening? What was brought down from Dubai to John F. Kennedy that in a plane ride that long? Because typically, the typical flu, I think, I'm not an expert, not a doctor here, but I think it's like 24 to 48 hours before, for it to get into your system and be able to see side effects to the typical
Takes
flu or cold.
bit, yeah.
Dude,
This
is
instantaneous within
a
hours,
plane
right?
ride, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know this is probably
What is that flight?
I don't know how long that flight is.
I'll look it up for you. Go ahead.
It's got to be 12 to 15 hours, I would think, somewhere in there. But there's also one interesting tidbit, almost funny. Because it's not a funny situation, because this could be the new Ebola. So I worry about that. But Vanilla Ice to
18
the
hours,
extreme.
18 hours, 5 minutes. What you're looking at there.
18 hours, 5 minutes?
From Denver to Dubai, 18 hours, 5 minutes is the duration.
Okay,
so Vanilla Ice?
So Vanilla Ice actually was on this flight.
I don't know if I told you.
To the Extreme was on this flight.
To the Extreme!
To the Extreme was on this flight. He was actually tweeting out as he was on this flight. Let me see. So he says, so I just landed from Dubai, and now there is like tons of ambulances, fire trucks, and police all over the place. This place is chaos.
Did he get sick?
No, he was not one of the sick passengers.
Huh.
So
do you think, how much of that do you think was placebo? Those people just saw people getting around, sick around them. All of a sudden, they got a little, oh, man, I'm a little sick.
Here's the deal. You know what? It's funny that you say that because I took a flight in 2010 from here to London and did kind of the whole Europe trip. There was a guy coughing 2 rows to the side of me, backside, and fine, no problem. But when we get 2 countries in, so we're probably 4 days into the trip.
Yeah.
I start hacking.
Oh,
I
shit.
start coughing. I get the fucking worst sore throat you could ever imagine,
Whoa.
bro. And so that was through Scotland and Amsterdam. And, dude, trying to get medication over there, cough drops, Halls, that kind of shit, you can't find that stuff.
Oh, no.
You get codeine. Codeine is
That
what you
sucks.
get. So, yeah, so it is
Ruined
a real
your
thing.
trip or what?
Yeah, it is. Well, half of it. But it is a real thing. I think the placebo thing does happen and will happen. But you know what, man? I got sick, but it took days, right afterwards.
Yeah.
But I think the placebo thing is real. But, a couple of comments I would say with this is, hey, be careful out there. Check yourselves. Get to the hospital. Word to your mother.
Oh, Jesus. Of course you had to go there.
Word to your mother.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you, but Vanilla Ice don't like me. Said some shit in Vibe despite me. Then went and dyed his hair just like me.
Yep.
Old Eminem bars for you.
Totally.
Anyway, I think that about wraps it up for this week, man. Anything more you want to close with, Dal, other than that? I think we're good. About a minute 35 in, or an hour 35 in. Try not to keep these. I see people that do 3-hour podcasts and shit. I don't know who's listening to all that, but
Can't do that.
Yeah, we can't do that, man. I want to wrap it up for you guys. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the NFL kickoff and enjoy the NFL season this weekend, man. For all you NFL fans, fantasy football, send us your DraftKings stuff. And I think that's about all we got, man. Until next week, as always, we'll see you back here on Tuesday.